Hi everyone, welcome back. And to kick off the last the keynotes for the last day of the event, we have with us Shodipo Ayomide. He is a developer relations manager at Stackoverflow, and he's going to be talking with us about developer experience. And without further ado, Shodipo, please take it away.
Exciting. Hi everyone. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me on board. I think so. I think I've worked a couple of sessions, and I think it's been great so far. So, yeah, and I guess it's my turn from my keynote. Okay. Well, welcome to the conference. I'm going to be speaking about technical principles of developer experience. I'm going to make it as short as possible so you can really grab what exactly this is. So, as he said, my name is Shodipo Ayomide. I am a developer operations manager at Stackoverflow. I'm also a GitHub star, social media developer expert, and I also refer to myself as a community evangelist. So you can find me on Twitter or GitHub at developer.io. So what is developer experience? Let's firstly define this because this is the base of our topic. What is developer experience? Let's understand what this is. So developer experience is similar to how you see and understand user experience, which is UX. Many times you've heard things like UI, UX, user interface, user experience. So the UX stands for user experience. So DX, which is developer experience, is similar to how you understand user experience. But the difference is that DX, which is developer experience, is focused strictly on developers, on how they consume probably your API service, your SDK, or any other services you offer as a company. So we help developers feel safe. We help developers feel awesome. We help them feel great. This is the goal of developer experience. So in most companies today, so DX, developer experience, is a relatively new role, and it's not so common right now. I know that Google offers this, Netlify offers this, and a couple of other companies out there offer developer experience roles. So we help developers feel awesome. We help them feel great about their work, about how fast they are progressing using our services. Because the transition from reading our documentation to implementation in their projects is super easy because we made it that way. The developer experience team in the company made it that way. So popular questions that you most likely ask is, who is a developer advocate? So first things first, a developer advocate is technically advanced. So this is the criteria to become a developer advocate. Number one, a developer advocate is technically advanced. To become a developer advocate, you have to be technically advanced. You must have enough knowledge about how to okay, I think I'm going to start with context switching. How to switch context based on different languages. You can build examples in React. You can build in PHP. You can build in like as advanced as Java, C Sharp, any language you want. You can just basically do anything. You can write articles and all of that. Basically, you must be technically advanced to become a developer advocate. Number two, a community builder, very important. And number three, expert communicator of technicalities. You must be able to communicate technical terms, complicated technical terms in a way that the people, the community will be able to understand. So you are the middle person between the company's services, the APIs, the SDK, and all of those services, developer services that the company offers, and the community. So you must be able to communicate those technical principles to the community that they will be able to understand and use your services. And number four, you must know how to sell software. You must know how to sell software to developers, not as a salesperson, but as a developer. And I'm sure we all know that developers don't really trust salespeople because of the track record of being overselling. What is it? Well, it's just a thing that developers say. But yeah, so you must know how to sell software as developers and tell them what this tool can do and what it cannot for now. User experience is how general users. Now, note the part I say general users. So user experience is how the general users use your platform and experience from load. So the experience from loading up the first screen to signing up to routing to their dashboard, that is user experience. But then this is for general users and not for developers. It is when it comes to developers, it's developer experience, but when it comes to the user, general users, it's called user experience. The experience they have from logging into your platform, to navigating the pages, to routing to your dashboard, and all of these things, to signing up using social media or whatever feature you have on your web page. This is user experience. How fast is it? Is the experience great? Whereas developer experience DX is the flow that developers have while trying to implement or configure your product, either your developer XDK, your API, or even your NPM package. Anything at all, developer experience is important. Now, more difference. One is developer focused, the second is general user experience focused.
So developer experience, I'm gonna bring it down to two things. It's gonna cover for value. It's gonna also cover for time. Value, you can reach your goal as a developer with this API. You can also provide this API you're trying to implement, you're trying to use in your project. Also, like it provides even more than what you need right now. This is exciting. It's providing value for you. You can reach your goal in like with this everything you need, every single thing you need to work on. Your small project is available. Your big project is available with this API. Everything's well documented. And the next thing is time. We've provided value. Great. Every company has to provide value to make money. So the next thing is, are you saving me time? So the developer experience improvement would be that this value you are providing, every developer trying to implement your API, your SDK, whatever it is that you have, whatever service you're offering, they can be able to reach their goal while implementing your product in less time. Secondly, the API documentation is amazingly straightforward. That from reading the documentation, I can understand what endpoint is for what. It's going to be that straightforward. So if you can cover creating value and also saving the developer's time, you are already working in developer experience. So productivity for developers is measured in developer experience, DX, based on how fast the developers can move from documentation to implementation. So this is what productivity is in the developer experience in DX, based on how fast developers move from reading your documentation to implementation. So how fast from after reading your documentation, what do I do next? Do I move straight to implementation? What do I do next? It's super important. Let's talk more about documentation. So when you don't write any docs, it's like no docs. It's simply called, I built this, I don't care, figure it out yourself, I hate stress. So this is literally what you're saying when you're trying to build like an OSS project or you own a product that has no documentation. It's just code. You really don't care about the community and you just want to like just put it out there, say, hey, figure it out yourself. I hate stress, don't stress me. If you want to use it, I don't care. The most important part of writing good docs is the structure. Everything should be tabled properly and easy to find. Structure, everyone loves a well-structured readme, a well-structured documentation. Everyone loves it. Not that I'm reading a documentation and I'm seeing prerequisites at the bottom. I'm seeing how to get started with, let's say, how to install dependencies. I'm seeing that at the top. What if I don't have Node.js installed? How do I install dependencies? What if I don't have like a couple of prerequisites installed? Is when I get to the bottom, I'm seeing prerequisites. That makes no sense. So a well-structured README to a point that every endpoint that your API covers is documented in a table format in your docs. Everyone loves a well-structured README. So taking a look at this project, you can see I have, first thing, you have to clone the repo, install dependency. You can start there. Once you're done with that, you can go to localhost 3000 to view the output of what you just installed. You can also build by running npm run build. Then also what this project covers, everything's out there, is in a table format. Everything's out there. You need to fully documenting everything. This is the most important part. That when anyone sees your project, there's a well explanation, there's a detailed explanation of what everything does. This is the big part of every project. Everyone loves a well-structured README. Everyone does. Everyone does. It makes everyone feel happy. So this is exactly what happens under the hood when there are no documentation. I kind of emphasize how important documentation is. So it's like your manager is asking you, hey, how is everything going? How is the pull request progressing? This feature is meant to be released under Q2, but then it's still not out. But you're like, yeah, it's all fine. Everything's all good. It's all good. Everything's beautiful. Everything's going fine. When there are no documentation in your project, this is how you make developers feel. And remember, productivity, as I said earlier, is measured based on how fast the developer moves from reading your documentation to implementation. This is how developer experience will be measured. And if there are no documentation, this is how you make your developers trying to implement your product feel. They are on fire right now, but like it's fine. The top people is fine, and this is because of you. So please write good documentation. Developers need to understand how your API service works before they can implement it. You can't just like see APIs and just start implementing. You don't even know what the endpoints are. You don't even know what the API offers. You don't know any of that. So there needs to be a documentation that covers all of this. All these are great developer experience because it helps developers move from your documentation, getting their API keys or tokens, to also implementation. All of this process becoming seamless thanks to your well-documented API or whatever project, what NPM package, as I mentioned before, or SDK. So tools for helping with documentation. So I'm going to start with Docker Source. So Docker Source is for documenting JS. We have documentation JS for JS. Also, we have Goko for Go. We have Slate for Ruby. We have Codex 2 for PHP. Documentation is not just for the end user. This is another thing that is super important. Documentation, I'm going to say it again, is not just for the end user. You need it also. You are literally human. You forget things. So documentation is not just for the end user. You need it also. You are human and you forget things. So document your code. Commit messages. I'm going to explain what I mean by this sentence under commit messages. So commit messages are also part of documenting your code as well. So this also helps with improving the flow of onboarding of new developers in your dev team. I'm going to explain. Looking at this commit message, you see it says send monthly price value to Google Analytics e-commerce. That's the commit message. The next message says support multiple registers for a suffix. So for the first one, when I click that commit, I already know what I'm expecting to see. I know what exactly it is. But when I open your commit message, I am saying fix this, tried this, testing this, it might work, push the commit. Those are your commit messages. It makes no sense when onboarding new developers. As I said before, it's going to be hard because when you're going to your commit messages on what kind of commitments have been written by your company and by the former staffs, it's going to be hard to onboard them. They're going to go through a lot of things. They're going to have to click on every commit and read the code and see exactly what was done, and that's a lot of stress, and you're not saving anyone's time. So commit messages is part of documentation, and it also helps improve the flow of onboarding for new developers in your team. Let's talk about developer experience feedback. So this can be hurtful, definitely. Many times it's not always hurtful, actually. But then it also helps improve the product. Any feedback is good feedback. Terrible, bad, awful, beautiful. Every feedback is good feedback because why? It helps you improve your product. Yeah, so lastly, I'm going to talk about, so this is a project I'm working on. It's called Imagehive. So basically, this helps you get color codes from images. So many a times when we're building products, we find it hard to get images. We find it hard to get colors because not everyone is so good with colors. I wasn't so good with colors when I built this, and that's why I built this. So I just get an image, I upload it, and it gets every single color that is represented in that image for me, and I know what exactly to use. So this is one thing that you can use while you're working on your project. So it's imagehive.co. Check it out if you want to, if you need to. Yeah. So thank you for coming to this keynote. You can follow me on Twitter at developer.io and also on GitHub at developer.io. Thank you.
Hello there, Shodipo. Thank you for the presentation. It's very good.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And I guess we learned a lot about the value of good documentation and improving on developer experience. That's actually interesting because it's not often that we hear about DX, right? It's only like user, but I guess it does affect a lot of productivity. Why do you think it doesn't come up too much in conversation when we're talking in this kind of tech context?
Yeah. So great question. So yes, so it actually doesn't come up so much because DX is relatively new. It's not so it's not like old, like when we say user experience. User experience is quite old and has been out for a number of years, but developer experience is relatively new. Same way we talk about developer relations, developer advocacy. These roles are still relatively new, and yeah, we are still in the adoption stage and trying to understand what exactly these roles offer and building documentation, building the job descriptions of what higher end developer experience looks like. So I believe over the years it should become common and more people should get to understand. And this is the reason why I'm having this talk. I want to talk about developer experience. I want to get more people excited about DX. I want more people to write great documentation. So it's honestly going to change a lot of things when it comes to on getting developers from documentation to implementation. It's going to change a lot of things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope that's a step the community is ready to take in providing good documentation, because I have come across bad documentation and know how much of an asshole that is.
Yeah, we all have.
Mariana Vargas asked, does DX consider different levels of expertise? I mean, a junior will take longer than a senior to learn from documentation.
Yes. So, okay, does DX consider different levels of expertise? I mean, junior will take or longer than a senior to learn from document. Oh, okay. Yes. So DX. So it's best practice to actually never assume. I've seen this many times when I see people writing articles or basically writing articles or giving talks like what's happening right now. We always assume many times that the audience we are speaking to already understand a certain level of things, and that's wrong. Because remember, the internet is forever. People who know like nothing and just want to get started with coding will just probably see your article and you skip prerequisites and you speak
how to install Node.js. You skipped a whole bunch of things and you went into boom, how to install dependencies after these are the endpoint, boom, just like that. When documenting your project, it's important to start from the smallest thing that anyone would need. Because why? You are not documenting for senior developers, you are documenting for everyone on the internet, that everyone would be able to understand this. If it's an open source project and you want people to use it, you have to document for every single person. People who are new, people who are senior level, people who are junior level, people who are mid level. You have to document for every person.
Okay, that is true, but you also need to assume a level of previous knowledge, right? I mean, there's some knowledge that can be considered obvious in a certain context, and I think maybe providing those prerequisites is a good way of starting your documentation.
Yeah, if you can just simply as the thing that can be assumed is just really simple things like you don't have to explain what a variable is. You don't have to explain what a function is. Like you don't have to explain those things. I'm talking about like installation prerequisites. What do I need to be on my system to get this project running? What do I need? Like you don't have to explain what exactly Node is. Just like make it a link to Node.js website. They're going to click it and just continue reading there. As simple as that. You don't have to write exactly what it means. Yeah.
So if I understand this correctly, you need to kind of step away from your context that you've been in for a long time while developing this thing and kind of look at from the outside and see what does someone need to know in order to get into this, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm looking over at the chat. If there are no more questions, I think we're going to end it here. Shodipo, thank you so much for your talk. It was very good. And we'll see everyone at the next keynote.
Yeah, everyone. Thanks for having me.